The Eastern Siberia Pacific Ocean Oil Pipeline is a pipeline system for exporting Russian crude oil to the Asia-Pacific markets. The pipeline is built and operated by Russian pipeline company Transneft History. The original project of this pipeline was proposed by the Russian oil company Yukos in 2001 as an independent oil pipeline. The project proposed to build a pipeline from Angarsk, where Yukos operated a refinery, to Daking in northern China. At the same time, Transneft proposed an alternative project to pipe oil from Taishay in Irkutsk Oblast to the Far East port Kosmino near Nakhodka. In May 2003, the Russian government decided to combine these projects and that Transneft would be in charge of the pipeline, while Yukos would supply the oil. On 29 May 2003, Russia and China signed an agreement on construction of the pipeline. On 31 December 2004, the Russian government approved the construction of the pipeline from Taishay in East Siberia to Pavazna in the Pacific region. Construction of the pipeline started in April 2006. On 4 October 2008, the section between Taishay and Talokan was launched in a reverse to pump oil from Surgutneftega's-owned Alinsky deposit. The first stage of the pipeline was completely laid in May 2009 and the whole first stage was reversed in December 2009. The terminal at Kosmino was inaugurated by Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin on 28 December 2009. Construction of the second stage from Skvorodino to the Pacific Ocean started after launch of the first stage. In meantime, oil was transported from Skvorodino to Kosmino by railway. The second stage was inaugurated on 25 December 2012. In June 2009, Russia and China signed a deal to build the Spur pipeline to China, by which Russia supplies China with 15 million tons of oil each year for 20 years in exchange for a loan worth $25 billion to Russian companies Transneft and Rosneft for pipeline and oil fields development. Construction of the Spur to China started in the Russian territory on 27 April 2008 and in Chinese territory on 18 May 2009. The 64 km long section from Skvorodino to the Amur River on Russia-China border was built by Transneft, and the 992 km long section from Russia-China border to Daking was built by the China National Petroleum Corporation. It was completed in September 2010. On 1 January 2011, Russia said it had begun scheduled oil shipments to China. Route: the 4,857-kilometer pipeline is being laid by the route of Taishay-Kazakinskoye-Skvorodino-Kosmino. Because of protests of environmental organizations, the initial pipeline route was moved 40 kilometers north of Lake Baikal. Instead of going through Buryatia, it was built through Sakha Republic. The 2,757-kilometer-long first stage runs from Taishay to Skvorodino, and the 2,100-kilometer-long second stage will run from Skvorodino to Kosmino. From Skvorodino, the branch pipeline would extend through Mohe to Daking, China. The 64 km long section runs from Skvorodino to the Amur River on Russia-China border, and the 992 km long section runs from Russia-China border to Daking. There is a plan to lay a parallel Yakutia-Khabarovsk-Vladivostok gas pipeline alongside the oil pipeline. Technical features: The initial capacity of the 122-centimeter pipeline is 600,000 barrels per day. By 2016, the capacity of the pipeline will be increased up to 1 million barrels per day, and by 2025 up to 1,600,000 barrels per day. The capacity of the link to China is 600,000 barrels per day, and its section in the Russian territory costs $600 million. The pipeline consists of 32 pumping stations, including 13 with tank farms, with a total capacity of 2.67 million cubic meters. For feeding pumping stations with electricity, a 35 megawatts power station was built near the town of Olyokminsk in the Sakha Republic. It is fired by the crude oil from the Spur pipeline. The power station is designed for independent operation in demanding Arctic temperature conditions. The terminal at Kosmino has a tank farm with a capacity of 350,000 cubic meters. The loading capacity of the terminal is 300,000 barrels per day. The first stage was built by Systema Spekstroi, Krasnodar-Stroy, Transgaz Vostok Story, Promstroy, Amico and IPSET SPB. 516V32 crude oil-fired engines for the pipeline-related power station were delivered in summer 2008 by Wärtsilä. The first stage of the pipeline cost $12.27 billion and the export terminal cost $1.74 billion. Resource base. The pipeline is supplied from the oil fields of Tomsk Oblast and the Khanty-Mansi Autonomous Okrug in Western Siberia along the existing Omsk-Irkutsk pipeline that joins the Espoo pipeline in Taishe, as well as oil provinces of Eastern Siberia. At the initial stage, 22 million tons of oil is supplied by Rosneft and 8 million tons by Surgutneftgaz. Controversies. Embezzlement allegations. In November 2010, one of the minor shareholders of Transneft, Alexei Navalny, accused the company for $4 billion embezzlement during the construction of the pipeline. These accusations were denied by Nikolai Tokarev, head of Transneft Dispute with Cnpc. In 2011, a dispute arose over payments for oil delivery through the pipeline. While Transneft has charged Cnpc with violating the supply contract, Cnpc is not acknowledging these claims. The contracts stipulate the monthly volumes of oil according to the agreed price formula, which is less than the spot price of oil.